actually incredibly comfortable as it's currently quite cold here. Right, Friday, Q&A, fan mail, lovely. Got letters, packages, it's gonna be fabulous. Oh, what's going on? Well, apparently a great many of you need to go rewatch my Commenting Etiquette 101 video. The comments on my latest Goodwill run were... I hoodwinked you, many of you. And many of you commented before the video was over, and it showed! For shame. For shame, I say. But that was a fun video, so... and the comments were great, especially when, you know, people commented and then finished the video and then realized what they had done. It was fabulous. I enjoyed it. Now, that was, you know how every sci-fi show has a time loop episode? Where they get stuck in a time loop, a Groundhog's Day episode, if you will. And that's kind of what we did this one. Next, of course, we will have to do the requisite musical episode. Because they always have a musical episode first. They somehow manage to figure out how to justify a musical episode. So stay tuned for that someday, maybe. All right, let's get to some questions. Because there's some good ones. There are some good ones today. I'm looking forward to it. Hornateco. What are your opinions on some of the popular musicals of the past few years? Heathers, Dear Evan Hansen, Hamilton, etc. I have no opinion because I have seen none of them. Not a one. But I hear they're fabulous. I like that they're still a thing. Also, hypothetically speaking, if someone were to write a musical set in a post-apocalypse and wanted to know if they could write a Captain-esque character in it, would you allow such a thing? Absolutely, but only if Gerard Butler plays him in the film adaptation. Johnny Blaze. What is your favorite fictional kingdom? Fictional kingdom. The 10th kingdom. No, probably Gondolin. I was always very fond of Gondolin from the Lord of the Rings world, from the Silmarillion, and more from the Lost Tales. I think it was the Lost Tales. Might have been the Unfinished Tales. Anyway, Gondolin. Do you like Nerf Battle Camo line? I do. I thought it was a neat camo line. It was still very colorful, but, you know, had that tactical feel about it. So, yeah, I liked it. Zach. I think it's Zach Leak. The leak apparently got removed. What happened to the leak? There's been a leak, and the leak has drained. Anyway, have you ventured into the world of HPA nerfing? Not really. Not like proper HPA with like a pressured tank that refills a Specs BZ or something like that. I've got drain blasters and stuff, but that's all mostly LPA. I haven't yet. Luckily, I recruited Dr. Pews into the crew. And he is one of the more ingenious creators of HPA that I've seen. He has a I don't know that I should talk about some of the things he's done. I don't know that he's released them yet. But he has done some amazing stuff. The ones that I've seen at Wars, he had a semi-automatic HPA Centurion and a semi-automatic Roto Fury. So yeah, he's done some amazing HPA stuff, and I want him to teach me everything when the plague is over. Next question from Zach. What is the silliest, craziest Nerf loadout you have ever come across? Well, I think I answered this last time, and it was probably Brett dressed as a banana, armed with a banana. And not a plastic banana, an actual banana. And he got tags! Yeah, that's probably still the craziest, silliest. And have I ever tried model rocketry? Yes, many years ago. I was into model rocketry. Long before I got into Nerf, back in middle school, I think it was. I had a friend who was big into it, and I had a couple of them, so yeah. Alex Noose. Noose? Canuse? I don't know how to pronounce it. I've been curious about how you turned the crew into a security company, the steps you had to go through and types of jobs you guys do. Well, we incorporated as an LLC. So all of the paperwork necessary to register as an LLC in the state of Idaho. There was training, there was licensing, there was certifications, all of that sort of stuff for weapons carrying and all of that. And then we did mostly odd jobs. There wasn't another private security company in the town, which is why we chose to incorporate. A lot of us were already doing similar work already. So we did things like site security for like construction companies if they had heavy equipment left out that they didn't want to get vandalized because you're in a college town, there's a lot of dumb, drunk kids around. We did things like, there was, I think, a store in the mall, a jewelry store in the mall. They were getting their security system upgraded, and so they needed someone on site while their system was down. We did event security, so again, a lot of drunk college kids, things for like concerts or drag shows or other events that were targeting the college kids that they knew were going to get well and thoroughly plastered. They wanted, you know, mean-looking guys in black tactical gear standing around acting as bouncers, essentially. We did that sort of stuff. So we did some property security as well for someone who was worried about their neighbors moving their fences. A couple of other odd jobs. But yeah, it was always a side job for all of us. It was never meant to be a regular job or a regular business, a full-time job for any of us, because there just wasn't enough business for that. But as, you know, private contractors who, once somebody needed some security, they could train. They could contact us, and if we had people available, then we would take the contract. If we didn't have anyone available, then we couldn't, and that was just how it worked. So, Grim Reaper 2458 space _. Do you think Adventure Force or Dart Zone will make a hammer shot? I wish they would. That would be fantastic. I suspect the same thing that somebody in the comments stated, which is that Hasbro probably owns the patent for that priming mechanism, would be my guess. And it hasn't run out yet, whereas the priming mechanism for, you know, regular priming mechanisms have probably at this point, the patents have worn off since they've been around since the 80s. But I would sure love to see another company make better hammer primed blasters, because they're such a nice mechanism, and Hasbro is just not doing what they could with them. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. Another one from Grim Reaper 2458 space _. When you were in medieval recreation days, did you speak French? I did. The name Xavier came from when I was taking French in high school. That's when I first started using the name Xavier. We got to pick a French name to go by in class, because by, you know, I think second or third year French, we were only allowed to speak French in class, and so we had French names, and Xavier was a French name. And so when I got into medieval recreation, by then I'd taken 3 years of French in high school. I didn't end up taking French 4, but I did take French 1 through 3. And so my French was good enough and my accent was good enough, and for the most part I just spoke with a French accent. And I did it so much that an awful lot of people thought it was real, that I actually had a French accent, and asked if I was actually from France. And when I said no, they assumed I was from Quebec. And then I dropped the accent altogether. They go, no, I was born in Idaho, I don't know what you're talking about. But when I was around somebody who actually also spoke French, so most commonly Bishop Guillaume Marchand de Fleur, Bishop Guillaume, he and I would speak French together, just to practice up on our French, and because we were both playing French characters, and so it was fun to be standing there flinging insults at each other in French and having nobody else have any idea what we were saying. So yeah, there was some French spoken. Vathuisk. How would you make a limb-powered bow with magwell? Well, I'd probably take the fake bow arms off a crossbolt and replace it with actual prod. And then a proper string. Honestly, though, I wouldn't, because they're a lot more dangerous than just using a bungee cord. And you're not going to get really any value out of it other than now having metal arms that are springing forward, and that's obviously not nearly as safe. But that would be how I'd go. If I really wanted a limb-powered one with a magwell, I would just modify a crossbolt, because it already has the magwell built in. James Dormorod. What is, in your opinion, an incredibly underrated historic weapon? Depends on what you mean by underrated. Who's underrating it? When was it underrated? Are you wanting ones that were underrated at the time, or ones that people just don't know enough about today? My favorite medieval weapon that most people have probably never even heard of or they've seen it in movies and didn't know what it was, is what's called a bill, or in French a guisarme. It was the ultimate anti-knight weapon, the anti-armored weapon, as it had all the aspects of a spear, of a warhammer, of a battle axe, and had a hook on it. So, you know, fighting armored opponents on horseback with it was great, because you could hook them off the horse, you could spear the horse, you could spear them, you could flip it around, and it had the armor-piercing warhammer type hand. And since it was a pole arm, you had all the leverage to just drive it clean through the armor, didn't matter what they were wearing. And it evolved out of farming implements, as many of the best medieval weapons did, because you called up an army of peasants, they came with whatever they had, which was generally farming tools. Turns out, a lot of those tools are really good at killing people. And so, you know, the men-at-arms took a look at this, you know, tree trimming hook, and how well it worked for pulling knights off horses, and went, hey, could you put some spikes and spears and some frilly bits on that? Because I'd love to have one of those. So yeah, that's my favorite. Not important asks, do you airsoft? I have, and I found I didn't like it. Just for a lot of reasons. The biggest one was the people. And that was probably just the people that I played with were not the good people to play with. And that's true of anything. There are people in Nerf that I don't like, and then there's people in Nerf that are absolutely awesome. I'm sure it's the same for airsoft, but it wasn't my early interactions were that there was a much more inherently toxic environment and culture, and they took themselves too seriously, and I found Nerf to be more enjoyable. It was sillier. It allowed for, you know, HVZ could be played on campus with Nerf. You couldn't do that with airsoft. I can play in the park. You can't do that with airsoft. I can play at a state park at one of the forts. You can't do that with airsoft. So Nerf was just a more relaxing and more interesting hobby. I have heard some amazing stories of things that are done with airsoft at like old industrial parks and airsoft reenactments of major, you know, World War II battles and stuff like that. And so I know it is a wonderful and awesome hobby. My initial introduction to it was very unpleasant, and so I never went back. Ace Hunter. How did you learn to throw knives? I was taught by Sir Hamish, the very same Sir Hamish that I then fought in the War of Two Knights. A very good friend of mine for many, many years. Actually a member of the crew, technically, still. He taught me how to throw knives. And one of these days, I may do a video on the knife throwing technique that I use, because there are lots of different knife throwing techniques out there, and so, you know, maybe I'll show mine. Earthboy. If you had the option to, would you wear a knight's armor suit to a 1-versus-1 Maverick duel with a duck? No. No. Wearing a suit of armor to a pistol duel is silly, which might be the point. But no, you want to be more dodgy. Sword fight, sure. Of course, you know, I'm not terribly worried about dodging shots fired by a duck, but I'm sure Duck Squad will have a few things to say about that. Royal Boy. What are you doing? How could I? Take that! Ah, too low. Alright, we'll try again. Royal Boy. With the backlog of Nerf and Lego, do you ever giggle at the realization that you have your own personal toy store at your disposal? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Every time I give someone a tour of my Lego room and I show them the shelf of all of the Lego that I've been sent that I haven't gotten around to building because there's just so much of it, the little 8-year-old in me just beams, because that is a childhood dream it never even occurred to me to have. I mean, imagine trying to tell 8-year-old me, one day when you have enough money to be able to just buy all the Lego you want, you won't even need to, because strangers from all over the world will be mailing you so much free Lego you can't even build it all fast enough. He would have thought I was a crazy person, because that's amazing, that's wild. And the same with, you know, the Nerf and the other stuff. I mean, I can't remember the last time I had to buy myself snacks. And yeah, it is something that is just, I am constantly reminded, because, you know, I do these videos every 2 weeks, and I'm constantly reminded at how very lucky and fortunate and privileged I am to have, you wonderful, wonderful people who send me so much wonderful, wonderful stuff that makes me so wonderfully happy. Yes, I giggle a lot about it. I keep telling the members of the crew, y'all need to start your own YouTube channels. And Jose, of course, always throws stuff at me. And he also asks, any advice from someone moving out of their family's house soon? Figure out what things you use every day that you completely take for granted, and make sure you have them. Things like a toaster, maybe a microwave, a good spatula, frying pans. If you don't already, before you move out, learn how to do your own laundry, how to wash dishes. Those little skills that you've probably taken for granted your whole life, and you're going to get out into the real world and realize, I don't own a can opener. How am I supposed to get into the tuna? My brother discovered that in New York. Somebody wanted tuna, and then nobody had a can opener. But my brother knew how to open it using the weird can opener on the bottle openers that nobody actually knows about. Yeah, see, life skills. Have your parents explain to you things about, paying your bills and balancing your budget and stuff like that. Yeah. Get to know your neighbors. It's very important that you have good relationship with your neighbors if possible. Just because you never know when you might need help. And they're there. So, yeah. Grape Ape Duct Tape. That is a fabulous handle. Is the Mattel Ultimator a huge improvement over the Titan, or just an even sillier form of hurling humongous foam projectiles? Well, the Ultimator predates the Ultimator, or the Ultimator predates the Titan by like 7 years, at least. So the Ultimator came first. And in many ways, the fact that it is spring-powered, I would consider an advantage, because air power can be finicky, and the Titans have a tendency to develop leaks, though the seals in the Ultimator have a tendency to go out. But it's easier to replace the seals on a spring-powered blaster than to correct a leak in an air-powered blaster. I don't know that it has better range. It might. It is difficult to make it any more powerful. But I like it. And I do have a pair of them, and I want to tinker with one of them. Rex Regum. What's the coolest looking sword type in your opinion? I have always been very fond of rapiers, but also of the Gross Messer. It's a single-edged sword, but has that pirate knife look to it that I always really liked. I've also always been a fan of curved blades, sabers, scimitars, cutlasses, that sort of thing, just because slashing is cool. There's a lot of really exotic ones out there that people have never, really gotten to know. Anything flamberged, especially like flamberged greatswords, are just wicked looking. So there's no one that I think is the coolest. There are so many varieties that it's really amazing. The Drifter. Do you like music? Oh yes, I love music. And if so, what is your favorite musician, group, act? I don't have a favorite. I have a very large variety of music that I like, but mostly I like music that I can dance to, because I love dancing. I don't know if how many of you realize that. I was actually on my college ballroom dance team briefly. I was once an excellent dancer. I haven't danced in years. I'm hoping that will change someday. But I liked music that I could dance to, and to broaden that, to expand that, I learned as many dances as I could. So there's just a huge variety of dances that I know, or music that I know how to dance to. If I can't, whether it be a swing dance or a rhythm dance or a smooth dance or a ballroom dance, or I can generally find a dance that I can do to it. And there was a time when I had a dance partner that, we could dance to just about anything, anywhere, and we danced all the time. I danced pretty much every day, and it was wonderful. In the kitchen while cooking breakfast, we would dance. While waiting in line at the grocery store, we would dance. While we'd be at a restaurant going to dinner, and we'd be waiting for our food, and there'd be music playing, we would dance. We'd be walking down the street. There would be no music, so I would whistle, and we would dance. And I miss that. I really, really miss dancing. 4-piece. Have you seen Bigfoot or any other cryptids in your swamp? Do you think they can be hurt by Nerf blasters? Asking for end, totally not, because I have an infestation. I have seen no evidence of Bigfoot yet, though I have heard. I was actually probably a wild boar, but that's the noise that the experts attribute to Bigfoot. It sounds like a wild boar squealing. It's absolutely terrifying. If you've never heard a wild boar, it doesn't sound like a squealing pig. It is absolutely terrifying, and I can understand why people would assume that it was some kind of a horrible cryptid. Look it up. Yeah. I heard it once while walking from my shop to my house, and yeah, it makes the hair on your neck stand. It's like, I want to be not in the dark, out in the open. I want a weapon. I do have shrub goblins. There are shrub goblins in the shrubbery in front of my house. I'm sure of it. There is an absolutely ridiculous number of fairy circles on my property, and every single one of them is of a completely different species of mushroom. One day I found at least 5 or 6 different fairy circles made up of completely different mushrooms. Each ring was all the same mushroom, but there were 6 completely different species of mushrooms forming fairy circles. So, yeah, there's all sorts of wacky, wild stuff running around on my property, and I love it. Nifump, have you ever played Battletech? No. Dark Lord of the Sword. What is your favorite sub-series or character in the Discworld? The Watch. I'm a big fan of the Watch series, especially of Commander Vimes. I very much appreciate his level of practicality, his style of leadership, how he begrudgingly ended up in a position of nobility, because I can identify with that, as, the scruffy Captain Xavier ended up a duke and eventually an imperial baron, and had to wear fancy clothes and get your graced and all of that. So, yes, Vimes and the Watch, for sure. Luke Beaven. What LEGO sets are your favorites? Old Blacktron, the original Blacktron, and Forceman are still my favorites, and that's entirely nostalgia, because the oldest 2 sets I ever remember owning were a Blacktron, original Blacktron set, and one of the Forceman sets. And so as a result, I've just always loved those lines, and I would love to see them come back someday. And finally, Chatatox. I have recently tried to get a holster for my Nerf pistols, but came to the problem of being a lefty. Do you have any suggestions? Yes. If you look on eBay or Amazon, a lot of the universal holsters, as they refer to as universal, they're adjustable to fit whatever size pistol you're using. They will often have a right and left option. You just need to check the drop down. I'm pretty sure there was somebody who was making Nerf blaster holsters, and I can't remember who they are, if they still do, like Blaster Tech or something like that. I think Out of Darts has right and left options for some of his stuff. Depending on the holster, things like the Hammer Shot fit perfectly in a double AK pouch, and they're, perfectly symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which way you go. But yeah, I was able to find a number of universal holsters that came in a right and left option, and so I have them both. Alternatively, learn to cross draw. Not the best option, but it does work. Yeah. Secondly, alternatively, make your own. I mean, that's what I did with my Strife holsters. I just made my own, though they're getting worn out. I need to replace them. Secondly, if LEGO minifigures existed in the Toy Story universe, would each piece, head, torso, legs, be sentient, or would the head control the body like a Megazord? See, this is why Toy Story gave me nightmares, because I had all of my LEGO figures that I wasn't using, so like all I never got into City, so most of my City minifigures were all completely disassembled, and then sorted by body part by color. And so the idea of them all coming to life and just screaming horribly because they've all been mangled gave me some interesting dreams. That is a fascinating question, though. I could see it being a hive mind, where just the LEGO is sentient as opposed to individual minifigures. It's just all one big thing, and it can reshape itself because it's so easily transferable that it would just be a hive mind. I could see a hive mind. I could also see them having some serious dysphoria about, you know, having a different head than they were supposed to have. And this arm was originally from a female Lego character, and I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I like hive mind. I'm gonna go with hive mind. Yeah. Ha ha! A direct hit! Finally! All right, to the loot. That's some good stuff. I have good feeling about it. Right, and now for the loot. Hopefully, I've got the focus working. Are you focusing? Focus. Okay, let's take a look at the loot. Well, flinging stuff about it. Let's take a look at the letters. What do we have here? Okay. Just gonna shred the envelope. No care. Ooh, that is neat looking. Captain Xavier, it is with great pleasure that I finally have some proper stationery, as well as the motivation to compose some correspondence. I am a longtime fan of yours and have greatly enjoyed your content over these last few years. Recently, I've found it quite difficult to reach out to people, both long-standing friends and new alike. That affliction, if it is so, is largely the reason I decided to knuckle up and write to you. Now, I understand that as a performer and creator, it is likely that your character is extended at least partially into the man we see, but I feel confident that even without the lens of the internet between you and so many of your viewers, you are a genuine article, as it were. You seem true and principled, honest in your intent and actions. I admire you as a creator, but more so, I greatly admire your ability to bring people together. I always say that in some regard the auxiliary is a self-indulgent idea. You always say that in some regard that the auxiliary is a self-indulgent... You always say that in some regard the auxiliary is a self-indulgent idea. I know that it's likely in jest, but I hope that you see the good that you're doing. Not even for the Nerf community, but your community. There is an insidious result of loneliness. Feeling out of place is all too common and can do incredible damage to anyone. It is because of this that I find your work with the auxiliary so much more important. A community built on kindness, fun, and respect is so hard to find, and a man who seems to be comfortable with himself, honest, and kind is even harder. I'm all for Clement, and I haven't even finished. In the closing lines of this letter, I'd like to note several things. First, being my lack of indentation up until this point, I totally forgot. Nextly, green! Then, arguably the more interesting, I am writing to you from my gorgeous Royal Arrow. I'm a big fan of typewriters and analog tech in general. If you're ever interested in one, I would love to know. I may even be tempted to send you one in a package. You're a really good dude, Chaylo. Please keep being you. I feel like you have so much to share for the betterment of many. Every story time carries a lesson that so many younger members of our community would do well to know. Humility, honor, and equity and respect will make your world better, as will you. With great admiration and respect, I can't believe I ran out of paper right on my big finishing line either. Lost formatting. Aha! Sam, aka Azrael, in the Ox, I think. Well, I don't know what to say, but thank you. That really does mean a lot more to me than... Well, actually, I suspect you know exactly how much a letter like this means to me. And it is nice to be reminded that what I'm doing is appreciated and worthwhile. Yes, the auxiliary has been very much a benefit for my own well-being, for my mental health and all of that. And I'm glad that it has helped so many others. And it's nice to be occasionally reminded of that. So thank you very much. Alright. Aha! Ha-ha! Mint! But such a candy cane. I love candy canes. Open on camera. Well, yeah, that's what I do. It's got an addendum. Neat. Dear Captain Xavier, I love all of your videos. I really love fan mail and Q&A. I sent you this for two reasons. One, I have a question. Do you like any K-pop bands? And or BTS? I enjoy the genre. I've heard some of it. It's very fun and lively and and cool, but I could not name a single song or band. 2. I have a YouTube channel called My Jank Builds. That sounds awesome. Where I show off some of my mod stuff I've thrifted, etc. As of right now, I have 6 subscribers. I am trying to get to 10. So what better way than for you to say my channel name on YouTube? I just want a YouTube channel with subs and likes. Thank you so much. And if this goes as planned, someone is watching you read this on YouTube. Sorry about the bad handwriting, and thank you so much. I will have a link to his channel down in the description. You should all go and subscribe and comment on his videos and all of that jazz. Because, I mean, that's how my channel got built. Somebody did a video on me, and next thing you know, here I am. I was wondering if you could sign this paper and send it back. Maybe? Maybe. Do I still have your address? Did it say? Oh! Maybe. Yes. I will try to remember to. You might have to email me and remind me because I am terrible about remembering to mail things. Please cover up the return address with some tape, some kind, when filming. Oh, yeah, I always do. Lovely. See? Tape. The problem is said tape often destroys the address because it was written on and then it gets ripped off and then I don't have an address anymore. But I think I'll be able to get the tape off of this one. So I will try to remember to. I make absolutely no promises. But send me comments, harass me, harangue me mercilessly, and I will eventually remember. All right. Now for the package. We have one tiny, suspiciously rattly package here. Take that! Aha! It's a minifigure! No explanation whatsoever. Could be from anyone. Probably Sparky the Saint. I'm gonna go ahead and open it right now. Oh, it's the Pirate Girl. Yes, yes, this is from Sparky the Saint. I remember him telling me about it. Yes. Come out of there. Come out of there. Alright. Feather. I like that she's only supposed to come with one sword, but because of the nature of Lego and the certain stuff that they always give extras of, she ends up with 2 swords. So, pirate. I like that her hair is built into the hat, and because of the era, it's not inherently female. So you could use that hat for a male character if you wanted to, but it makes this character look better to have hair as opposed to, you know, a female face and then apparently bald. So, yeah, I like it. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Thank you. Oh, she's got an extra plume, too, that has been flung about. All right. Another suspicious package. It's another a bunch of other minifigures. We got here. Enjoy your gift from Sparky the Saint. We have a Viking. You know what? I'm going to save this for the Lego room. I will have to do another Sparky video. This one appears to be the tournament night. Which one is the tournament night? Alright, change my mind. Opening it now because I want to know. Oh, okay, yeah. It's the orange and black one, which is a fabulous character. Does he have a cloak? Is there a cloak? No cloak. Fabulous. I love the sword that comes with him. It is an excellent example of a broadsword. A lot more detail than you saw in previous swords, and I really do like it. I've got a bunch of these now. I'll be able to do a whole faction of them soon. Seen some beautiful stuff done with this particular minifig. I like the detailing of the chainmail coif. And, yeah, the boots and all of it. Very, very cool. And then the last one was the new Viking, which I have also done a couple of. Fantastic. It comes with extra beards, which I then use to make more dwarves. Usually. So, as always, my thanks to Sparky the Saint for the minifigs, because the minifig line is just a fabulous concept. All right, let's start with this dubious, rattly. This is the wrong kind of rattle. I have a theory of what's in here, or what 100 of things might be in here. Aha! I was correct. 100 ducks. I've been ducked. I've been pirate ducks. A whole bag of pirate ducks. Oh, that is awesome. Do they squeak? Not really. That one's got an eye patch. Green bandana. Sword. Oh, tricorn hat. Pirate hat. Oh, look! Notes. Quack, quack. Make way for ducklings. Many regards, Secretary Bacon Duck, the Duck Squad, aka Mr. Secretary, Mr. Secretary's Army, from Bacon Duck, Mr. Secretary. Yes! Ducks! All the ducks and all the lines. There will be more ducks in another video coming out soon, unrelated to these ducks. Many a duck. When I was the Duke, I was given a lot of ducks. Never this many, and certainly never this many all at once. 110 ducks in one go. I will have to find a way to make a target for ducks, like a big grid full of ducks, and you have to try to shoot the ducks out of the grid. That'll be fun. That will be fun. Yes. I'll probably also end up using them in games in the future, where the mission is to collect as many ducks as you can. Very cool. Very cool. Ducks. Ducks. All right. What's next? Let's go with this one. Sounds broken. This is from someone. I hope there's a note, because I've covered up their name. I want to say it was Jeff Murray. A note! It even says note. So you know it's a note. Greetings, Captain! In this box is some blasters I don't have any plans for, so I'm giving them to you. There's a bag of happiness, yes, for you too, which has a minifigure of Chip and Iron Patriot. Chip and Iron Patriot. Hope your Christmas was good. There's something to help to get the crew into shape as well. Shadow Madness. Sweet. Get the crew into shape. I am curious. Oh. Very nice, very nice. Ooh, hand solo blaster. Ah! That was primed and loaded. It's led a rough life. Ooh, some vintage. Very nice, very nice. It needs some repairs. The cables come undone, but very cool. Ooh, yeah, these are cool. These are hard to come by, and that one has been left out in the sun. Another one of these, very nice, very nice. Ooh, the Rebel Jolt. Ah! They're all loaded. Will teach me. Very cool. Very, very cool. Oh, hair. It's got noise. Does it make noise? Please tell me it makes noise. Oh, apparently the batteries are dead. Oh, I shall be doling out the hard floggings. For any of you familiar with Dr. Tran, the Dr. Tran video from many years ago, somebody created a Duke Xavier. Train! A Duke Xavier version where instead of what was in the Dr. Tran videos, it was hard floggings. And now I have a whip I could actually potentially use. That is cool. I'm going to have entirely too much fun with that. Darts, darts, darts. Air! Oh, interesting. That's actually Lego. It looks like a Hot Wheels car. But it's it's Lego. It's got Lego on the top and everything. I did not know this was even a thing. I am going to have to do some research now. Oh, I see. Chip. Yep. Chip. And an Iron Patriot. Sure enough. Sure enough. Well, very cool. Very cool. Oh, it's a creator's set. Nice. Those are always fun. I will have to do that. And buy the book. Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic. That's a particularly good one. I don't know. There's one that's better than the other, and I can never remember whether it's the black barrel or the white barrel. Well, that'll clear the shop, so that's pretty good. Awesome. That is going to be too much fun. Way more fun than should be allowed, but I'm going to do it anyway. Alright. Next, I'm going to do this one. This one might not actually be for me. This might be something that I'm supposed to smuggle to Australia. But I'm not sure, so I'm going to open it now. And if it's not something, then I can edit it out. And you will never know the difference. Alright. We got 2 left. And I know which order I'm going to do them in. I'm going to do the ridiculously big one from Boomstick. At least I think it's from Boomstick. It's got a Boomstick sticker, so I would assume it's from Boomstick. And it is large and absurd. This is going to be a long video, because it's already a long video. These are always long. Some of you still watch them all the way through. Good Lord, he actually wrapped stuff. There's ammo, a plimp, there's happiness. Oh, Boomstick, what have you done? Ah, I'm losing ammo already. Merry Christmas from Boomstick Mods. Well, you, sir, you, sir, sir, you, sir. Good Lord. I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna come back to you. Look! Adventure Force Afterwards. I don't think I've actually bought any of these yet, but I have almost 1,000 now. So that's cool. That's very, very cool. Bunkers! Sweet! Keep meaning to buy some of these, and then I never do. Now I have one. Sweet. Mint cream fudge covered Oreos. You, sir. You, sir. I don't know if I've ever had the fudge covered ones. That is decadent on a level that is just unheard of. Oh, Adventure Force. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Never have too much Adventure Force darts. And then just ridiculous amount of Mega AccuFakes and Rival. Ah, Mint Kit Kat. My favorite Kit Kat. Delicious. Knew I should have told you guys I liked mint long ago. Now I have more mint than I know what to do with. Finally restocked my yellow Rival. Was starting to get a little bit low on account of I used it on Halloween, and a lot of it ended up in the blackberries. Ooh, Sith Trooper Battle Pack. Very, very cool. I did not have this one yet. Very cool. Oh, that's gonna be a fun one to build someday when it makes it to the list. All right. Now for a plotzing, because that's a big Lego set, I'm pretty sure, and I'm curious which one it is. Ugh. Oh, good Lord. Ooh-ha. Bionicle. Piraca Stronghold. Well, that's just cool looking. Look at this. I didn't know this was even a thing. There are a lot of really cool parts in there. That is so cool. Bionicle was never my bag. I would be very get off my lawn about it, but I know that Bionicle saved Lego from bankruptcy, so I appreciate it. Oh, it's a chariot? Look at that. With a cannon? I have no idea what's going on up here. This is going to be a fun set. This is just nothing but action features, and I like that about when there's action features. Very, very cool. Thank you so much. That is going to be a fun one to build and to tinker with because it's very definitely outside my usual wheelhouse. That's one of my favorite things about the Lego by the Book series is how often I'm sent sets that I would have never bought. And that was kind of what was neat when I first started working, doing stuff for Bricks and Wheels, is I'd sort collections and build out sets for them. And that would result in me building sets that, again, I would have never bought and would have never had the chance to build. And so when I get sent things in fan mail that are sets that, you know, aren't Castle or Pirate or ones that I'm obviously looking for, it's really cool because it's just, variety is the spice of life. This is just a fantastic... Often I get sent, you know, the ends from cut off half darts as packing peanuts, but here it's actual useful ammo because Mega AccuFake are really very, very good. Some of these have led a rough little life though, but that's what loaner bins are for. Give them lousy ammo and they can never hit you. I would never do such a thing. More than once. All right, we have one last Picard, and this is from Daniel Dillman. And it's dubious. I shouldn't shake it because there's something sloshing. All right. I opened the right side. I found the note. Hello, Captain. How's your day been? My day has been fantastic, and the reasons are none of your business. My dad would like to say, some days you get the bear, some days the bear gets you. Hope you're having a I got the bear. I actually am. Allow me to demonstrate. I quite literally got the bear. Tactical bear. He's got blasters and everything. You will see more of him soon. And safely released into the wild. If not, I hope this box cheers you up. Thank you for the Lego tour. It was awesome, but obviously you could use more Lego. Obviously, clearly, not enough Lego. I love your pirate ship diorama the best. So with the Striker set complete, that part of your collection, what is the next thing you're wanting? Are you going to make a Lord of the Rings battle scene someday? I know you love getting the dwarves. Forgive me if you've already answered that question. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay silly. Dan, native Wisconsinite, Halo fan, Sprecher, root beer drinker, Lego sorter, etc. When you have some comics. What you thinking about? Nothing? Nothing at all? Nope. I'll help. Please do. COVID-19 systems include having a lack of taste. People with live, laugh, love, wall decor. Why did you want to be a pilot? To overcome my biggest fear. Heights. Dying alone. Oh, that's just terrifying. He's mailed me memes. I love it. What am I looking for now? Well, if you're looking to splurge big, the only ship I don't have is the Silent Mary. But any pirate sets, any castle sets, I can always use the parts and the minifigs for sure. I would have to check and look at vintage stuff. Star Wars. You can start sending me Star Wars Lego, though I'm already out of room for a lot of it. But you can never have too much. Plus, I've got friends who have Star Wars collections. For Lord of the Rings, I don't have plans to do a Lord of the Rings diorama. I do want to add a dwarf and an elf realm. Eventually, the dwarves will probably end up in a cave under the castle table. I have no idea where I'll put the elves, because they should be in a forest, and I don't know where I'll put a forest. I already have forestmen, so who knows? We shall see. We shall see. Oh, good lord, it's just random bulk brick. Oh, I do need more of these big mountain rock pieces, because I'm going to be building a large volcano on the pirate table. Well, that is just nothing but good castle parts. Fabulous. Clear bits. Clear bits. Oh, and gems. God, I love the gems. I'm going to have treasure rooms and loot rooms, and I will need all of the gems and all of the land. Plates. Look at that. Oh. I didn't know they made that plate. I have uses for that. Dark gray plates. Yes. Yes, please. Green plates. Excellent. Huh! More mint Oreo! You know, I recently bought myself a pack of these, and now I've got these, plus the fudge ones. Y'all trying to fatten me up, which I don't need the help. but I do love mint. Ooh, big plates. They're sticky. Was there a leak? What's going on here? There may have been a leak. We will find out. They may just be filthy. Alright. Victory Legoland Discovery Center, Chicago. Cool! Windows grates, some foliage, a door I have never seen before. That is cool. Is there something on you? Yep. Very good, very good. And 2 bags of minifigs. Oh, yes. There's Lord of the Rings. Yep, there's a Lord of the Rings orc in there. There's Star Wars. There's... I don't even know what that's from. Definitely don't know what your story is. Oh, you're a keychain. Wolves, more Star Wars. There's at least 1 wolf pack. There's some more Castle, Ninjago, Knights. More wolf pack. A dragon. Oh, nothing but good stuff. Oh, I love... That's a Hobbit. Mandalorians, more castle stuff. Horses. A polar bear. I love random minifig bags. You never know what you're gonna get. That one's got a brain. That's a brain. That's a brain. That's weird. That's weird. Sweet. Alright, and then what do we have here? We have some Sprecher Citrus Splash. I don't know that I've ever had that. Nope. I think one of these might be leaking, or it might just be... Might be condensation. Might be leaking. I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely moist. I don't think they're broken, and the whole bottle isn't soaked. We'll see. I think there's some more of the maple root beer. Something's definitely leaking. I don't know if something broke or if it just... Yeah, something done leaked. Anyway, I will get those cleaned and in the house, as well as all the Lego and all of the snacks. Alright, once again, absolutely plotzed at the amazing stuff people send me. If anybody's curious, my birthday is next month. If you feel like sending stuff, February 19th is my birthday. I do plan to get myself the blacksmith shop set, because it comes out on the 1st of February, and that's going to be my big birthday present to me. If anyone else feels like sending stuff, well, now you know. I don't expect you to, but some people get very upset when you don't tell them it's your birthday. See the cake incident. That's what happens when I fail to tell people who care about me when my birthday is. I have learned my lesson. I shall not have another cake incident. I may have just set myself up to get mailed a lot of Petridge Farm cakes. That would be pretty funny. Alright, you guys are awesome. You're wonderful. You send me so much cool stuff. I'm off to my Lego room to plot and eat mint. Thank you for watching.